I'm excited to be joined today by Representative Alex Falconer, an environmental advocate and longtime leader in the effort to protect the boundary waters. Alex and I were, when we were just young organizers in 2006, we were both regional organizing directors for the DFL that cycle. Alex, welcome to the call.
Thank you so much, Richard. It's great to be here. Yeah, I was just thinking back, 2006, we started at the DFL. I think our hairlines have both followed the same pattern too, though, and
Yeah, I've
our
had,
gray beards.
yeah, right, exactly. Representative Falconer, it's so fun to call you that, by the way. Let's start at the top. For folks who may not have been there before, what actually are the boundary waters, and what's their significance to Minnesota culturally, ecologically, and economically?
Yeah, the Boundary Waters, for anybody that doesn't know, which if you're from Minnesota, I have a hard time imagining, but let's imagine this podcast goes global. The Boundary Waters in northeastern Minnesota is just this incredible uh, place of federal wilderness. So wilderness contrasted like a national park. People think Yellowstone, but you can drive through Yellowstone. There's lodges, there's restaurants, there's gas stations, roads, etc. A lot of modern amenities. A wilderness is set aside to be completely left as is, as nature intended, and that's what the Boundary Waters is. It's 1.1 million acres of pure, pristine wilderness in the boreal forest of northeastern Minnesota. 1,100 lakes, all interconnected with rivers, streams, marshes, and the water is literally so clean you can dip your cup off the side of the canoe and just drink straight from it without filtering or needing to worry. I know people do worry and people filter, but 45 years of Boundary Waters travel myself, I'm still here. So living proof you can actually just drink straight from the water. And where else is something like that available to us as humans and as modern society? So this is just a very special, iconic place. Been set aside since 1906 with Teddy Roosevelt managed as wilderness throughout, and it's a vital part of Minnesota's iconography. Everything that we promote about Minnesota tends to lead with the North Woods, the lakes. This is lake country. 10,000 lakes. It's actually 11,000 and some change. But Minnesota is proud of our clean water, our outdoor heritage, and the Boundary Waters is kind of like this the zenith of what we have is for public lands in Minnesota.
You've spent years working to protect the boundary waters, and you even ran 110 miles across them as part of your advocacy. What were you thinking, and why is this so personal to you?
What was I thinking? I was thinking, gee, wouldn't it be fun to torture my body for 38 hours and just see what I could do? No, so the Boundary Waters, I mean, my first trip, I was an infant. I don't remember it. My grandpa brought me in a three-generation trip. And I think that's a story that's shared by so many people. This is a place where Minnesotans, the upper Midwest, can really access. I mean, it's the only wilderness of any size north of the Everglades, east of the Rockies. And it's accessible geographically, but then also physically. I mean, you're not hiking into a desert, you're not hiking up a mountain, you don't have to carry your own water because, again, it's just right there. And so this is just of deep meaning to me, to my family, to generations of Minnesotans and Americans. It's part of the 1854 ceded territory lands, culturally and spiritually just sacred and vital to our tribal communities that retain the rights to these lands and waters for hunting, fishing, ceremonial activities, etc. So it's really just baked into the DNA of Minnesota. And I've been fighting for the past decade or more to protect this from fights from sulfide or copper mining. And yeah, one of the projects I did, inspired by several other, we call it adventure advocacy, where somebody does something specifically unique and kind of crazy, just to draw new attention. And I've been running most of my life and have transitioned to trail running. And there's two trails that run east to west, about 110 miles across the wilderness. And I was the first person, at least in recorded history, to have connected both of those to do it in one contiguous run. And it took me about 3 years to prepare for this, which also included a broken toe, some heat exhaustion, some hallucination of a deer head running alongside me in one particular run. I mean, I'm running the run, walk the talk. I'm running the talk. I'll put my body on the line for this place, just as I know so many Minnesotans will. It's just that important to me.
One of the striking things about this issue is the coalition involved. Can you talk a little bit about who's standing up to protect the boundary waters, and then like who's pushing Republicans like Pete Stauber to introduce this mining?
Yeah, the coalition that has been built up to protect the boundary waters over time is really remarkable. I mean, this is a national coalition of businesses, everything from national brands like Patagonia and North Face for apparel and gear, fishing like Sims, hunting anglers, as well as then NGOs from Backcountry Hunters and Anglers to the Wilderness Society and the Sierra Club, both national and within Minnesota. I mean, there's over 400 businesses, organizations, associations that are aligned in the singular mission of no sulfate or copper mining in the watershed of the boundary waters, and that is the specific threat. The sort of mining always pollutes; it always has. Even in the United States, a lot of copper mining in the arid deserts of New Mexico and Arizona, and even there, it's polluting ground and surface water. Now imagine that right alongside the wilderness with 1,100 freshwater lakes. It rains and snows in Minnesota a lot, and it's a recipe for disaster. And my whole point and my whole position and the position of the Campaign to Save the Boundary Waters and the national coalition built up around it is we're not an anti-mining organization or coalition. Minnesota has a very rich history of iron mining. We respect and we value that, and we want to do everything we can to keep that industry going along and the jobs that it protects. But the watershed of the boundary waters, the wilderness edge economy is just not. It's not a mining economy, and the jobs, the way of life, everything that exists there today could last for another 500 years. It's nearly $1 billion in economic activity for Minnesota, 17,000 jobs. Study after study has shown a mine site in the area would lead to a depressed regional economy, not the panacea of what local rural towns are looking for. I mean, the towns of Ely, Grand Marais, Two Harbors are shining examples of rural towns in Minnesota doing it right, basing their economy off of what nature has provided, drawing people there, and providing this place where people can spend their hard-earned money and their vacations. People are relocating there due to internet and high transmission lines. They can work remotely and live next to in the woods in peace and quiet. And it's just a special place. And I mean, the people pushing for the sulfate or copper mine. 70% of Minnesotans do not want this. I think at this point, the only people, if your last name is Stauber, Trump, or Luxic, the Chilean family that owns Antofagasta that's pushing this project, those are the only people really pushing for this. It's a Chilean mining company that would ship its ore to China. They're trying to use our boundary waters as a Chilean or Chinese piggy bank of almost no benefit to Minnesotans or America.
Representative Falconer, you are a fountain of knowledge on the boundary waters. Thank you for joining us today on the DFL Daily. We appreciate your advocacy and all of the education that you shared with us today. Thanks for joining us.